Well, the first round of raid testing for Mists of Pandaria's first raid, Mogu'shan Vaults, is now over, and I wanted to give you a quick video going over what we saw and what you can expect come launch. But first, some super fast shilling. Like the last bunch of raid tiers, I'll have a fully featured assignment sheet complete with automated MRT notes and alert integration for this and every raid in MoP, as well as a loot prio guide coming out soon, so you'll know where to send those items in your raid to best improve your group's overall performance. On top of that, I'll also be posting a pre-quest guide so you can get started now on your journey to level 90 in the coming weeks. All of this will be available on my Patreon soon, the link is below. Alright, Mogu'shan Vaults is the first of 3 raids that will launch around the time Mists of Pandaria does. I leave some vagueness here because we're not sure if the raid will launch right away or after a couple weeks, as Blizzard has done with the last couple expansion launches. Additionally, Heart of Fear and Terrace of Endless Springs could launch at that same time that Mogu'shan does, but if I had to guess, Blizzard will stagger their releases a couple weeks to a month as it was originally in MoP, so players have plenty of time to prog one raid before being presented with the next. TBD, we'll see what happens. Now let's get the big things out of the way first. All 5 tanks performed quite well this weekend, with Monk, DK, and Warrior maybe being the top 3. I truly think you can use any of them for your raids right now, so there's good news here. Second, Hunters, oh my gosh, the Hunters. Consistently and with very few exceptions, Hunters were incredibly strong in our raids. We opted to stack them as best we could for many of our runs, and they did not disappoint. On top of that, they're very versatile and can do damage in lots of different profiles, so that's looking like the strongest DPS right now in this first phase. We'll see once the sims come out and people perfect their rotations, but if I was a betting man, Hunters are the go-to for phase 1. And for the healers, the top performing specs were, without question, Discipline Priest and Resto Shaman. Now we expected this, and the data is skewed in Disc Priest's favor even more, because they're currently getting a lot of extra healing through some bugs regarding Divine Aegis, and an infinite mana pool with a broken mana regen calculation, but I'm sure that those 2 specs will still be the strongest after that's fixed. As a Disc Priest player myself, I really hope Blizzard gives some love to the other healers. It felt bad bringing 3 Disc and 2 Resto Shamans as our own healers. Variety is the spice of life, you know. So we'll see, but as of now, those are your go-tos. Okay, onto the raid itself. Now, the Mogu'shan Vaults we tested this weekend had a handful of bugs, mostly in Spirit Kings and the final encounter, Will of the Emperor, but we were still able to get through everything on Heroic a few times, with some adjustments that I'll speak to in a second. But since this is the first raid that we've been able to test for MoP, it was really a learning experience for everyone on how to play the MoP versions of their classes. And let me tell you, everyone had a great time with the way that their classes were designed. Disc Priests, again, have never felt more fun, interesting, and in-depth as it does right now. I was constantly exclaiming to the annoyance of everyone in my raid how much fun I was having. Alright, let's get into each boss. First up, the Stone Guards. These guys weren't too bad. The intended strategy here is to cleave 2 and tank 2 off to the side, but we quickly tried stacking all 4 and cleaving all of them, using cooldowns to eat the explosion that they do when they reach full energy. And oh man, was that a fun way to do it. It's a very cool fight, lots of running around, avoiding traps, and yes, those tiles lighting up off kilter is a hilarious bug, but it will get fixed. Next up, Fang the Accursed. This is one of those fights that's pretty easy once everyone understands what's going on, because there's a lot of little mechanics that are hard to recover from if you mess them up. Once the tanks and people soaking the important stuff figure it out, it should go down quick. Super fun fight, 4 different phases depending on which weapon you drag him over, you're gonna love it. Okay, on to Garajal. This fight's kind of like Calico's in that you send a group of people to the Spirit Realm to deal with the various mobs down there, and once they're healed up, they can use their extra action button to leave the Spirit Realm and return to the fight with a cool buff. Good fight, but pretty easy, maybe the easiest in here. Now we get into the big boys, the Spirit Kings. Now this boss was absolutely the hardest in here as of now because of a combination of bugs, but suffice to say it is super fun. You'll fight 4 different bosses, each with a host of abilities, and when one reaches 30%, another one spawns, and now you've got 2 briefly until the first one dies. This This is one of those fights that you're going to pull your hair out over, people not moving away from the lines of flanking soldiers or putting damage into a shield that causes an explosion. Once your raid gets it, it becomes an elegant dance of moving, stacking, and blasting. Super fun fight. Alright, on to Eleggon. This is probably the most iconic fight in here, and it does not disappoint. Just don't do what I did and jump down when you shouldn't.
Moon's gonna get owned here. Do you need a Vigi at the start of the phase with you?
Yeah, just start rolling him.
No.
Oh, I fell! Now there's lots of running around, burning the boss, dealing with increasingly faster orbs and adds, and then a final last stand to down the boss before you're overwhelmed with damage. It didn't take us too long once we got our assignments handled to finish him, but this fight with more gear will be cool to see how it changes, because you can be more aggressive with your strategies the more damage you do. And finally, Will of the Emperor. At the moment, these guys were bugged and the fight was only spawning the number of adds that the 10-man version of the raid does, but even so, it was a bit of a challenge in that people had to learn the dance to dodge the weapon swings that they do every so often. There will be a lot of people struggling on this one in a couple weeks for round 2, if I had to guess, because the more adds there are, the less time you have to DPS the boss, the longer the fight, and on and on. Again, we'll see, but even now, it's a cool fight with a ton of healing required. Alright, in summation, and I'm not just saying this to blow smoke, but this was the most fun I've had raiding in Classic WoW to date. The new way talents work and the varied glyphs mean that each time you walk up to a boss, you're considering if you need this ability or that ability, and then you go in and have this amazing moveset to try out and adjust the next time if you need to. Plus, each boss is just interesting. And a lot of people have been saying that this is the worst of the 5 raids in MoP, which means that we only have more awesome raids to come. MoP is shaping up to be an amazing expansion, and I hope you give it a go. If you haven't been playing in a while, it's gonna be great. Okay, that's it for me. If you enjoyed this and want to see boss guides, profession and rep guides, and more, be sure to like and subscribe, and thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next one.